Hey guys, in this video we are going to talk about making our components a little more composable. Now on the page here I've got the slider component that we built in the refs video. Hopefully you saw that. And what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to strip out some of this code and just get it down to one slider. And when we look at that, we kind of see that we don't even need a component in this case. This component sucks. So to make this a little more reusable, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this num input, and I'm going to give it an API so that we can use the similar APIs between the number input and the range input. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up my prop types. Now I'm going to set a min, that's going to be a number, max, that's going to be a number. We're going to implement the step attribute, so that'll be a number. We're going to need a val, so I'm just going to call that a value. We are also going to, let's take this label and get this out of our app and give it to the component to deal with. So that will be a string. We're going to need our update. Whoops, update. Now this one's going to be a type of function, and it's going to be our only required property. Basically, our component is saying, you know, I need to know what to do when I update. And we're also going to use type, so we're going to be able to pass in whether we want it to be a range input or a number input, and that is going to be a type of one of, and that takes in an array, and in our case we're going to say we'll accept the string number and we'll also accept the string range. So let's go ahead and set up our default properties. So min can be null, max can also be null, value we'll just go ahead and set to 0, our step we'll set that to 1, pretty common, and our label, whoops, label, we'll set that to an empty string. We're going to make that optional, you don't have to have the label. And then our type, by default, we'll just set that to range. Okay, so now in our render function, we need to make all these items dynamic. So here we're going to say this props type, whoops, this props min, this props max, do our step, and then for the value I'm actually going to set it to default value. I don't think we've talked about that, but we'll cover that in another video. And I think we're looking good. Let's get our label here. Now in this case I'm just putting it after the input, but we're probably going to want to circle back on this and say, you know, do you want to put the label before or after the input? So to handle our label, what we want to do is I'm going to just say var label, oops, equals this props label not equal empty string, and then in that case we're going to return our label. Otherwise we'll return an empty string. So in here we're just going to say this props label, and then we'll throw our value on right after that, so this props val. Okay, our on change is looking good, everything's looking good here. So now we can go ahead and strip this out. Let's make this num input, break this out a little bit. So we'll say min, again, you know, we're representing numbers here, 0, our max will be 255, our step in this case will be 1, and our val will be this dot, sorry, this is our state red. Now in this case it's up to us to coerce that into a number. You can see that the component itself isn't doing that. It's expecting a number, and if we don't pass it a number, it's going to complain about that. So now we just need our label red. Let's try that out. Totally broke something. Let's take a look at our code. Unexpected return. You know what? That should have been a colon. Okay, so now you can see we've got our little component here. It's very reusable. If I want to change that to a type of number, I can just change that there. Now it's a number type. And if I want to change the step on that, there's our step. So there we go. That's a quick look at how to make our components more composable.